Bremer. Why don't you hold your applause until the end, and then we'll acknowledge everybody together. We first of all want to thank our property owners, Joe and Dolores Eckert. Dolores, would you stand up or raise your hand? Dolores and Joe bought this property, I'm guessing maybe 2003, is that right? And this historic remnant of the Bremer home, not sure they knew what it was at the time, but they knew it was important, and it was a key reason why they purchased this property. And they have lovingly preserved it and fenced it so that we could move forward with the Texas Historical Marker. Joe is unable to be here today, but we do thank both Joe and Dolores. We also want to thank the Comal County Historical Commission. We've been working together on this project since 2017. So nothing happens overnight, and it just took a long time to put all the appropriate evidence together for this historical site. And we also thank our county officials. I would be remiss not to thank my husband, who is here at every turn to unload, load, edit, whatever is needed, and I thank him. Cindy mentioned the co-sponsors, Mark Kruger and Sally Blacksmith. Mark handled all of the approvals with the county to get this fence put up, and with the Mystic Shores POA, and Sally and Mark both helped with fundraising, and then Sally moved forward with the actual application. We're grateful for that. A number of you are financial contributors to this project. You may not know it, but you gave money for our first neighborhood marker, the 7-11 Ranch Historical Marker, and we were so oversubscribed that we decided, and hopefully we let you know, that we were going to hold your money and fund the next marker. And that money funded this marker as well. So if I think your names may be on the back of the bulletin. Is that right? And so would you please raise your hand if you contributed to funding of this marker? We are very grateful. Next, I'd like to take a minute to recognize the many Bremer family members that are here today. They have come far and wide, and they represent everyone from great-great-grandchildren to great-great-great-great-grandchildren. And it's really an honor to have them here. There are two members of the family that send their regards that are 90 years old and could not make it here today. Some of you may remember our Sheriff, John Gilbert Jack Bremer Jr., who served as county sheriff from 1988 to 1996, and he sends his regards from Kerrville. He just wasn't able to make it, as was his distant cousin, George Edgar Fisher, also 90, who lives between New Braunfels and Lake McQueenie. So we'll send them the bulletin and send them all the best from all of y'all. But here today, and I'm going to try to get this right, but y'all are going to have to help me. We have several great-great-grandchildren. And just step forward. In fact, why don't you just line up over here as we call your name. From San Antonio, we have Dawson Bremer and his wife, Brooke. We have Julianne Bremer Kugel of Houston and her husband named Chris. Thank you. We also have Larry Bremer Watford from Canyon Lake and his wife Sarah. We have Charles Edward, we call him Ed Bremer of Blanco, and his wife Karen. And Kate Bremer, and Kate is from where? Blanco. Okay, you're a neighbor. Do we have any? Oh, and Matthew came all the way from New York City. Matthew Bremer is also a great grandson. So is that all the greats?
I think so.
Okay, now we're going to go to the next generation. The next generation would include some of the Davis daughters, Courtney Watford Davis and Casey Watford Allen. We also have, bear with me, did I forget Cheryl? Okay, Cheryl is a daughter-in-law. We're gonna put Cheryl up here with the great-greats because you're that same generation. And so now we're going back to the great-great-great-grandchildren, and we have Jacob Bremer. And Jacob and Cheryl are from New Braunfels. They are related to Sheriff Bremer. And is that all the great-great-greats? Anybody else? Okay, now we're going to go to the next generation. Okay, the next generation, we have Courtney's children, Avery and Tandy. We have Casey's children, Ford and Annie. We have Jacob's daughter, Brooklyn. And we have, let's see, I forgot Charles Bremer Jr. Charles Bremer Jr., where are you? Okay, Charles Edward Bremer Jr. is a great, and he's bringing his children, who are 4 times great-grandchildren, Milo Bremer, Ophelia Bremer, and Charles Edward Bremer III.
Wow.
Do we have any other direct descendants? Okay, well, back in the day, neighbors married neighbors and cousins married cousins because that was their social network. And so we have other people here who are related to the Bremers through marriage, and one of those is our own Sally Blacksmith. She's related to everybody in Comal County, by the way. Do we have any other relations of the Bremers? Okay, well, we're going to break the rule and give this team a great big applause, okay? All right, thank you. You're welcome to remain standing with you guys. I'd like to move to the Rebecca Creek School. We're very honored today to have some officials from Comal Independent School District. We have the president of the Comal Independent School District, Jacob York. Where is Jacob? I'm sorry, Jason York. Where is Jason? Okay, thank you so much for being here. It's very meaningful. And we also have the current principal of our own Rebecca Creek Elementary, Wendy Moore, and her predecessor, former principal of the same school, Sharon Richardson. So we really thank you for being here. As we were getting the cemetery designated as a Texas Historic Cemetery, which was the first step towards getting this historical marker, there's a few of you who were incredibly helpful. And I want to introduce Wilfred Schlatter. Some of y'all may have had him as a teacher at New Braunfels High School. Where is Wilfred? Raise your hand, big and high. And his wife, Marlena. And not here today. Unfortunately, he has passed. And his wife, Connie, was not able to be here, but we want to acknowledge Michael Krause. He is the county expert grave douser. And if you've never seen grave dousing in action, it's pretty phenomenal how they can determine whether there are bodies buried and whether they're male or female. So, and I also want to thank my husband for his work on the cemetery designation. When it came to installing the markers, it was led by Bob Warnicki of the Comal County Historical Commission, and it was no easy feat to get this thing in this rock and standing up straight. So we appreciate, if you were one of the neighbors that helped out that day, please raise your hand, because there were quite a few of you. And we thank our hostesses for today's setup. We have Sue Hudak and Julie Vick. They'll be over here where we have some water and cookies for y'all later. And then we had several neighbors who contributed to that, as well as the Comal County Historical Commission. And we do want to thank the Canyon Lake High School ROTC. It's so lovely to see young students interested in continuing our patriotic values. And today we had 1 freshman and 3 sophomores, is that right? Under the leadership of their ROTC sponsor, Lawrence Garcia. So we thank them. So now we can give everybody a big round of applause. Well, my comments on history are not quite as long as all those acknowledgments.